So, you need a simple gun model for your scene, but you don't want to watch a 3-hour YouTube tutorial just to make a background object, so you go to CG Trader to buy one, only to discover that they don't come cheap.
What? It's just an ordinary crabby. Oh my goodness!
Well, today, I'm going to show you how to bypass the headache and financial ruin by making convincing weapons in less than 15 minutes. Quick disclaimer, this method isn't meant to be used for close-ups or centerpiece objects, but it's great for more distant things or quick shots. Okay, ready? First, make sure you have the Import Images as Planes add-on enabled. Just go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, Search, Import Images as Planes, and enable it. Now, go to Google Images and find a side profile of the weapon you want to make. PNGs with transparent backgrounds work especially well, but any decently clear photo with flat lighting will work. Go back to Blender, Shift-A, Image, Images as Planes, find your gun picture, and make sure you're in shading view. And hit Tab to enter edit mode. Next, select the knife tool from the toolkit on the right side. Now, do you remember in grade school when you had to cut out shapes and do your best to stay on the line? Yeah, do that. You want to cut out the general shape of your weapon. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the closer the better. For things like top rails, you can just cut a straight line and then go in later and extrude every other edge to get the same effect with much less effort. Now that you have your gun shape cut out, make sure you're in face select mode at the top left. Press A to select all faces, then E to extrude them. No specific amount, just somewhere around what you would expect the width of the widest part of your weapon to be. From there, you can cut out the details. Cut around every section where there appears to be a dramatic height difference. For example, the chamber on most rifles will always be inset more than the frame. Cut around the buttons too. Now that you have the details cut, you can begin extruding faces inward. Note that you can also extrude to the size of the thinnest part first and work outward. It's really up to you. Sometimes making the mag a separate object and making it thinner is easiest, plus it makes it removable. Now you're probably saying, okay, but the barrel is supposed to be round, not square. Well, you're right. Add a cylinder to your object and align it roughly with your barrel. You can select the face of the cylinder and press E, then S to create a new face of a different size, then extrude it to continue the barrel. Feel free to do the same thing for things like scopes and stocks. Now, select both your cylinder and your weapon object and press Ctrl-J to join them, which screws up the UV. So, enter the UV editor and align your gun with orthographic view again. From the UV dropdown, make sure your weapon image is selected. In edit mode, press A to select all frames on the right screen, then U, project from view. What do you know? We now have a perfect outline of our gun that we can match up to the image using G to move it and S to scale it. We're almost done. Go into the Shading tab and select your weapon. Our gun looks good, but it's still a little picturey. Add a Mix RGB node and put it between your image node and your principled shader. Make the second color in the Mix RGB black, or whatever color your gun is, and adjust the factor until your gun is fairly dark, but you can still see the image details pretty clearly. Finally, adjust the gun to be more metallic and somewhat rough. Every gun is different, so don't be afraid to play around with it. I can hear you saying, wow, that looks not great. And you're right, but it doesn't have to. The cool thing about the human brain is that it likes to fill in the missing details, so if you place your gun in the background or just for a few frames of an animation, your viewer will do all the heavy lifting for you. I bet you can't tell which of the guns in this scene are high poly 3D models and which are just extruded images. That's because they're all images. Every gun in this scene is modeled using this method, and the bulletproof vest is too. This method can be applied to lots of things. It allows you to create convincing models without wasting time or spending unnecessary money. Mess around with it and see how far it can take you. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more tips and tutorials.